Welcome to Ask a Patent Lawyer with noted inventor and patent attorney Chris Maiorana. Each week, Chris answers your questions on patents, trademarks, and inventions. Now, here's Chris Maiorana.
How do you approach a patent application differently than a big law firm?
I think fundamentally we take each patent application a bit more personally. So we put a lot of pride and effort into these things. Ultimately, that's our work product. I mean, that's what we're delivering to clients, and we take a lot of pride in it. So I think I mentioned in another podcast a little bit that, bigger law firms tend to have just strict billing requirements. So they're going to really push the volume, whether the quality's there or not. So that's our theory, is that each one of these is a special project. It's an inventor's inventive idea. We're going to give it our absolute best effort.
Now, I also remember on that other podcast we were talking about, clients said to you that you took care of a lot more things for them. Did I remember correctly? They say the big law firms literally try to get the inventors to write the application for them?
I think they do. That's part of their strategy for just keeping their overall billable hours up. So instead of taking a stab at trying to get a certain section written or trying to expand the application to provide alternate embodiments, they might just ask an inventor something in an email and just do a quick cut and paste into the patent application. Where we recognize that for a patent application to be effective, you need alternate embodiments of a lot of the things that are in there, at least the key components. So once we have a draft done, we go back and think about it, like what portions can be expanded to use an alternate embodiment. And we'll actually write maybe a series of questions to inventors, not so much to just get them to write sections of the application, but to get them to have specific targeted areas that they want to address. And then once we work out, that's kind of like the palette of the patent application. Once we get that palette worked out, then we can do the details on the technical writing of those sections. And that's the way we look at it is, we're the drafters. We have the experience of writing these patent applications at the level of detail that are needed.
Clients got to like that a lot better, I would think.
We've had a lot of positive comments on that. I know back in the day, it still happens today, but I remember one inventor, when I met him at his site in Seattle, he said, this is great that we got you involved in these things, because when we had our other attorneys, we get a draft, and we just look at the thing sitting there for about a week because we just dreaded even going through it, knowing that it would take so much time to get this thing into shape to be acceptable to file. He said, once we started getting applications from you, the time, we noticed the time was so much less that we're almost excited to see them because we knew it was going to be a good application. It wouldn't take that much of our time, and then we would get the thing filed relatively quickly. And then the caveat to that is that big clients, they tend to pass out bonuses when these things get filed. So instead of it being a negative, like, it's going to take a lot of work to get my bonus, they're like, I already have the draft. I know I'm pretty close to getting this thing done. So it's been positive reaction.
Oh, absolutely. Sure. Now, is your approach more time intensive on your part?
That is part of it. It does take more attorney time to do that. A big part of our practice is we do a lot of work for Silicon Valley clients. So if we can use a Midwest type overhead structure but do California style work, it works for everyone. So the law firms in California, they have a higher cost of everything out there. So they have to charge more and spend less time. So if we can take those two things and just balance them out a little bit, so charge a little bit less and spend a little bit more time, it all really shows up in the overall quality of the patent application. That's something we take a lot of pride in.
Thanks for listening to Ask a Patent Lawyer with noted inventor and patent attorney Chris Maiorana. Join us next time as Chris answers your questions on patents, trademarks, and inventions.